Okay, so today we have Mr. Ronnie Yao and Winston Chu. Both of them are professional certified coaches. Ronald is actually a director of training for Vietnam, Indonesia for Coach Masters Academy. And okay, my internet's a little bit slow. And Winston actually founded his own academy, which is called the Quest Discovery Academy. So welcome, Winston and Ronald.
Thank you, Brittany. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever you are. Right. My name is Winston. I'm privileged to have you all to join us. Right. We are going to share very much on this post post COVID this post. Sorry, I just got excited. Post pandemic world of career coaching. What am I talking about? Right. So shall we actually start with the slides? Hey, thank you. Thanks, Rana. Hi, Nock. Good to see you.
Right. Okay, so Winston, can you see the slide?
Nope.
Oh, give me a moment.
Ah, splendid. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. This is our 10th year. I'm also a graduate of Coach Master Academy. So um, really it's a privilege to actually journey together with Coach Master Academy in this for the past. Well, I didn't join them when they first started. I joined them probably back in 2016, 2015, right? So I have actually completed my this mastery. I have completed my advanced and I've completed my mastery course. So yeah, I'm in the process of pursuing my credential for MCC. So today, very much, we are going to talk about post-pandemic world of career coaching. So having said this, this COVID-19 has really disrupted our life, right? Nobody actually anticipated for this pandemic. So this COVID-19 has challenged how things used to be. So quite a number of our habit has changed. Our behavior has actually changed also. So having said this, things are no longer business as usual. It's now business unusual. So the shift is gradually shifting, and things in terms of employment scene, what I see as a career coach, employment scene as well as the business scenes are also shifting. It became very, very fluid right now in the marketplace. That's what I noticed. And as well as some people will say that it has become very volatile. I will prefer to use the word fluid in the sense whereby things is no longer that linear. So I see I will use the word conventional business is being evolved out and new businesses are actually coming in, which means that the traditional jobs or the conventional jobs are slowly being displaced slowly and new jobs are being created. So if I want to bring your just jog your memory, everybody remember this thing called bus conductor, right? So right now not a lot of company have bus conductor. So in fact, if you come to Singapore, you were to tell my niece or nephew, hey, there used to be a bus conductor, and you got to pay them money, and they will give you a ticket. They will tell you, what are you talking about, Uncle Winston? What exactly are you talking about? And in fact, right now, if you talk about data scientists, there is no such job 10 years ago with a title of data scientist. New jobs are being created. So which means that career planning and career development is no longer as straightforward as what it used to be compared to the past. In the past, we plan this and things just, well, you don't expect things to change. It will take a longer time to change. Right now, things has actually changed pretty fast. And if I want to share with you certain things, it's like Well, I'm coming to 50 years old. Sometimes when I learn some new skills I thought is new, it become a normal skills. Sad, right? Then the next thing I know is that, oh, I got to learn something new, right? So this is very much of it. So there are three things that I want to share with you very much in the marketplace. What I actually see um, is very much of technological acceleration. I didn't use the word technology uh, disruption. Everybody has been saying, hey, technology has been disrupting things. Is it really true? All this while, isn't technology disrupting things? In the past, there used to be this thing called what you call computer being created. In the past, people used to use typewriter, right? So now people use computer. I would, instead of using the word disruption, I would prefer to use the word acceleration. Things has actually moved pretty fast and due to technology acceleration. And technology has always been present. And the only things that is always constant is change. Change has always been constant. So having said this, in the past, we used to use what you call a mobile phone. How long have we been using a mobile phone uh, in the history of mankind? Probably since 1980, probably 1990s. It got to be popular until probably about until today. And before that, we are using buttons. Do you all remember that? And when did we actually change to a touchscreen? And even before that, we used to use a dial. We still use number. So things actually change very fast if I were to jog your memory. And how did that impact our life? Are we ready for it? That's the thing that we want to check in with ourselves. Next, I want to talk about connectivity. Because of COVID-19, we are being locked down at home. And even right now in Singapore, we are very much staying at home. Yeah, our government did not say you can't go out. They actually share saying that refrain from going out, right? So they just share saying that, hey, refrain from going out. So having said this, people are starting to reconnect to themselves, right? Connecting to themselves. So in the past, very much progress, career progression and acceleration. What I see in the marketplace, generally people will talk about, uh, hey, I want better pay, uh, higher higher position, even I need to have more power. But with this COVID-19, I realized that my client tends to actually start to discover the value of family and in fact very much of themselves. And they start to talk about self-care. So the concern has actually shifted uh, to the purpose. What is the purpose of working for most of these clients? It's really no longer about money, no longer about status and power. The shift is, perhaps I would use this word, priority in their life. So one of the things I also notice very much is they are also wanting to see, they are actually quite concerned about their mental health as well. So their personal well-being is really a raising concern among quite a number of clients that I see. So they are really asking, what is the real purpose and reason for me to work? So this is one bit that I actually see. Last but not least, I want to talk about management and managing their staff is a new norm now. That's how I will phrase it. So workers are different from how our seniors used to think, and behavior has actually changed. So what we actually notice about the new generation, we call it the millennial generation, or even generation uh, Y, is that these workers prefer very much to be mentored and coached instead of being told what to do. So last time used to be a top down, I tell you what to do, you just follow me, follow my instruction and just do it. No longer resonate with them. So hence, having said this, they prefer a style whereby they can actually engage their intelligence, engage their mind, engage their being, so that they can actually know how to move forward uh, after the supervisor share with them. So with all this sharing, what does the shift inform us of the future, right?
Thank you, Winston. What does the shift inform us of the future? Let me pull out the slide here right now. Nice. Can you see me? If you can see me, give me a shout out on the chat group or
Yes,
somewhere. Just
we
say that
can
yes, I
see
see
you.
you.
Can see you.
Yeah, that's
You're
good.
Yes,
All right,
floating.
that's cool.
you're floating on your slide.
All right, that's good. That's good. Now, what does the shift inform us about the future? I'd like to just invite all of us to just kind of shout out, what does the shift then inform us about the future? Anyone? As you hear the shift, what does it inform you about the future? Innovation, I'm seeing it. Yep.
Changing.
Changing, interesting. Changing.
Change
Is
is
constant.
constant.
Yeah,
It's
change is
a,
constant, new direction.
it's a change
Some
for the possible futures.
the change for a possible future. Okay, all right.
Growth.
Growth,
Embrace.
embrace. Yeah, we see that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming. All right, continuous learning, mindset change. Unpredictable, very interesting. Well-being is more important. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think all of us have a certain idea of what does this change inform us about the future, at least according to the lens that we put on. I think one of the things that stood out from me as the lease is coming in is that it is unpredictable. It is not just change. The word is not just change. I hear the word changing. It sounds like it is an ongoing thing. Yeah. So to me, I think if I were to just kind of encapsulate my thoughts on what does shift inform me about the future, allow me to share this, and this is my point of view, all right? And I stand to be corrected, but this is my point of view, is this, that the future is a mirage. Allow me to repeat again. The future is a mirage. Now, what do I mean by that? I think at least what I learned from what I've experienced through this pandemic is this, that the future doesn't always happen, or rather it doesn't happen the way we envision it to be, right? I mean, the truth of the matter is, who have actually envisioned the world to be hit by COVID-19? I think pre-COVID-19, to share with you honestly, what I had in mind is, all right, I have all my business plan laid out, my strategy all laid out. I envision my future to be of a successful business, of which the future actually supports this goal of mine. And then what happened? COVID hit, and all my plans were disrupted. Right. So the truth of the matter is, this pandemic has changed the course of many people's lives. It was rather a rude, to me, I think it is a rude awakening, yeah, to this understanding that the future is not as predictable as we think, or at least in the way we think about the future, we think that it is predictable to a certain extent. And so the future, I think, to me, is a mirage. And it is interesting in the way we view the future, because it does has an impact in the way we plan. Yeah. So if we plan through the lens of the future, of which that we assume that there is a high possibility or high certainty, that is of high certainty, that things will happen the way we hope to see, it will it kind of informed us in the way that we strategize and in the way we plan, right? So that is one way of looking at it, which is good. But I'm just wondering, how meaningful is this approach towards planning, right? Towards designing our life, towards maybe even designing our career. And could there be a more meaningful approach to planning into this post-pandemic world, where we recognize the fact that in the future today, when we look at the future that we see is a lot more uncertain, that it is changing. Could there be a more meaningful approach? I think that would be the question that I'm going to leave with you for now. Now, of course, today the topic we are talking about is really about the post-pandemic world of career coaching. And so as we look at the career coaching, in the world of career coaching, something really interests me is this, that we do have a common practice. Now, I'm not saying that this is the way that everyone does it, but allow me to say this, that it is through Winston and our observation and through the years of us working with career coaches in our own experience in coaching clients in this aspect of career coaching, right? That we notice that there is some common practice, and allow me to just quickly walk through with you and share with you this common practice. Okay, so the common practice is we will meet the client and we will we will invite the client to share with us what is their career goal, right? So client, please share with us, what is your career goal? What do you hope to achieve in your career, right? What is your career goal? And when our client tells us, oh, this is maybe our career goal, and then what will happen is we will then come up with, co-create the career steps or steps to help the client to reach their career goal. All right. So in short, what we are doing here is we are helping our client, or the general or the focus here. Okay, the approach basically centers on trying to help our client craft the necessary step to reach their career goal. Okay. Now, when we use this approach, the idea here is this, that we look at career goal as a predictable future, or at least we perceive that there's a chance, a certain level of certainty where we are able to reach the career goal. Therefore, it only makes sense that we start planning and come up with a certain step in order to reach it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it is no good. I'm not saying that at all right, please don't get me wrong. I'm saying that maybe in the past, maybe before pre-COVID, things may be a lot more certain than today. And this approach might be quite useful. Okay, all right. But as we have established the fact that the future is no longer as predictable or as certain, or at least the certainty level might have dropped. And if the future is more like a mirage, then I wonder how meaningful would it be for us as career coaches to then adopt a approach that centers on crafting action steps. Now, what if the approach centers on something else? Instead of centering on crafting action steps, what if the approach centers on uncovering the meaningfulness of our client's career goal? How would that impact our client? How would that impact our client? You know, I have a client who came to me and we had a coaching session really around his career aspiration. And he came into the conversation saying, Ronald, I would want to make a decision whether or not to switch from my current role my current career to a different career. So it's a career transition. Okay. Yeah. So it's talking about wanting to switch career. Okay. So if I were to use a typical common practice, immediately I would say, okay, great. Let's talk about the pros and cons. Let's talk about what steps do you need in order to move to the new career, you know, and stuff like that. And that is fine. I think that's good. It helps the client, right? However, I've decided that, hey, we're gonna do a uncovering of the client's career aspiration or the career goal, right? In wanting to switch. So we had a conversation, and interestingly, at the end of the conversation, the client discovered that, hey, actually, at the end of the day, it is really not about making a switch in the career. The client said, it's all about me having a need to be engaged and not so much about switching career. It was very interesting. So the question to ask again, how meaningful is helping our client to craft actions that compared to uncovering their career goals. Right. So this is the first thing I'd like to share with us. But there's also another thing. There are two other observations that me and Winston kind of made. All right. And the second observation is this: it's really about the client, right? It's all about the client, and it has got to do with this thing about what they want. Interestingly, in a career coaching conversation, the client often come and share with us what they want, and they do know what they want. Now, my question is this: do they know what they need? Yeah. All right. Allow me to make this statement. Clients often know what they want, but they do not necessarily know what they need. Do you agree? All right. Since this is a question, please type into the chat box. Tell me, do you agree? Clients often know what they want, but they may not necessarily know what they need. Could you quickly time? Fully agree. Thank you so much. I'm gonna buy you coffee, whoever is that. It's true, isn't it? Yeah, many knows what they want, but they do not necessarily know what they need. You see, what the client wants is really about what he knows. This usually refer to a external. It has an external reference. Let me put it this way. For example, the client will say, "I want a job change. I want a promotion. I want to become a successful entrepreneur." This is what they want. Okay. All right. And so most of them will know what they want. However, in order for the client to know what he needs, that requires something. That requires understanding, isn't it? It requires understanding, because when you talk about what you need, it has a inner reference, not the external reference. It's an inner reference. It usually it usually requires an insight, right? The client requires to discover some insight about who they are in order for the need to be able to surface. All right. And so if we were to, let me put this way, some common need from our clients, in my experience as I coach the client, are this, okay? When we touch on the need, they would usually say something like this. They'll say, I need to either refocus or realign, that there's a need to maybe rediscover, and there's a need to maybe reinvent or reborn. Okay, when I say reborn, really, they are looking at themselves and say that, no, something about me need to be transformed, reborn. Yeah. So if you notice that want and need, they are very, very different. But the question is this: what is more meaningful to the client? What would be more meaningful in helping the client as they are thinking about their career? Is it the want or is it the need? Okay. All right. And the third observations that we made, okay, with regards to some gaps that we noticed, okay, in the common practice is this. In career coaching, we use career coaching tools, right? And I think many of us are quite familiar with them. May I invite some of us to kind of share with us what are some common career coaching tools that maybe you are currently using? Anyone quickly type into the chat box, what are some career coaching tools that you are currently using? Assessment checklist. Good. What kind of assessment are we talking about? Okay, MBTI, that's good. Inner metrics, awesome. The GROW model, all right. That sounds like a coaching framework. SDI, right. Okay. Any more? Just keep it coming so that we also learn something from each of us. Yeah, we learn something from all of us. All right, okay, let's keep it coming. So some of the common tools that coaches use, all right. Oh, more coming. All right, ACC process, EQ. Okay, vision board. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Yeah. Okay, vision board. Yeah. All right. So some of the things that we use, okay, Winston and I, we kind of use, and also we notice some other career coaches use. Okay, keep the thing coming. All right. Others, we have RISAC. Okay, RISAC. We have Nodal, cut sort, yes, and we have point of view. We have strength finders. We use things like self-directed search, CUDA, strong interest inventory. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, yes, that's right. Some of you love RISAC. Yeah, okay. I'm saying this, highlighting the tools because I think tools are fantastic. I think they really help and assist the career coach, and also to assist the client and to support the client in moving forward in what they are looking for in their career direction and career path. Okay, so tools are good. However, we have to understand this, that the tools were designed to be descriptive, really. Yeah, more than prescriptive. Okay, tools were designed to be descriptive rather than prescriptive. Okay, but the interesting thing is, in our interaction with many career coaches and our experience as we sit in some of the career coaches session and watch how they do it, we realize that many of them use the career coaching tools in a more prescriptive manner. Okay, and so that's where the point, that part that we are a little bit uncomfortable with. Yeah, all right, because the truth of the matter is, it's easier for us to use the tools in a more prescriptive manner than descriptive, because in order to be able to use it as a descriptive tool, it requires a lot more competencies. Right, because those tools are supposed to be able to help draw out real good layered content from the client, so that we can work with the client and bring about greater awareness, greater clarity, okay, for the client. All right, so for that to happen, it does require competency, yeah, in knowing how to use the tools. You know, for example, it's like if I have a screwdriver, which is a tool, all right, a Phillips screwdriver, I can easily use a Phillips screwdriver to screw in to unscrew a Phillips head screw. All right, that's very easy. All right, we can do that. However, it does require competency to be able to do it well. Right? What do I mean by that? You see, if the screw is kind of very tightly screwed into a material, you need to unscrew it. Yeah. What do? You just put the screwdriver into the screw head, and then you just turn. But if it's too tightly screwed in, when you just turn, there's a possibility of rounding the screw, meaning that after which you will not be able to remove the screw. And so it requires competency. It requires you to know that in such a time like this, you need to not just put the screwdriver into the screw hole, right? But you also, when you are turning the screw to loosen it, you need to apply pressure at the same time. Those are called competency. Yeah. So likewise, in using the career coaching tools, we need competency to be able to effectively, really effectively leverage on the tool itself. and to give full benefit, all right, and to apply full benefit for our clients using the tools. Okay. All right. So this is where we notice that that competency is really something that is missing somewhere somehow in order to be able to help our client, especially now that our clients are no longer just thinking about, all right, how can I get a promotion? How they're not just thinking about that. As they're thinking about a career, they're also thinking about they are thinking about the labor market. As they think about the labor market, they're also considering about themselves. They're also considering about their family. And so the dynamic is amazing. All right. Okay, so it's no longer so simple as it's not like what Winston said earlier. It's no longer so linear. It's it is very dynamic, and so it requires a lot more competency to be able to utilize the tools to help our client to really discover and uncover, all right, in how they're going to move forward in their career path. And so these are just some important gaps that that I've just shared with you, okay, in the aspect of career coaching, the conventional career coaching that that we have been using. They are by no means comprehensive, but we do feel the need to bring this to our attention as career coaches, right? So these gaps need to be bridged, and we want to really inspire sustainable change, all right, for our clients. And if we really want to inspire sustainable change, right, in the area of career coaching in this post-pandemic world, then these gaps need to be bridged, right? And so to bridge this gap, in order to bridge this gap, we have to pivot ourselves, all right? And so Winston is going to bring us through the 3 pivots to prepare us to be career coaches in this post-COVID world.
Thank you, Rona. Thank you very much for sharing. Yes, indeed, the world is no longer as predictable as what it used to be, right? Things is changing. I would use the word things is shifting fast rather than changing fast. So having said this, ladies and gentlemen, we come up with 3 things to pivot for this post-pandemic world in career coaching. So number 1, very much we want to talk about coaching competencies, right? So we need to help our client to respond to the unplanned career opportunities by learning very much of themselves to make a more informed decision, right? Um, we need to help the client to create a space for them to learn and to learn about themselves, as they can be more agile in this, what we call a complex, non-linear, unpredictable, as well as a dynamic world that they are actually facing. As coaches, we need to support our client and yet not be afraid to actually challenge them with uncomfortable questions and to invoke awareness and understanding of themselves, right? The second one that I want to touch about is very much of career coaching approach. Like what Ronald has shared, the conventional way of doing career coaching is doable, but it's starting to change. So if we don't prepare ourselves, then we are, yeah, we will find ourselves being evolved out, right? So there is a lot of ways to do it. Transformative coaching approach is one of it. It's about learning conversation of oneself rather than a solution conversation, like what Ronald has shared. They need to learn about who they are, how they are thinking as they consider the situation. We need to help the client to see themselves by getting in touch with themselves and who they really are, their inmost being, where the client can have a clarity about how they are able to actually make a decision of yourself, and even the site they very much how to be effective. This is especially helpful for people who are going through a transition or they are reinventing themselves, where they find about themselves. So with this great insight, it's like kind of like once the client is able to find who they are, understand who they are, what exactly is important to them, it's like a path that is being lit up, and the client can just move on a bright path. Last but not least, in terms of career, this pivoting, we need to understand about the career development theories. So career development theories is really behind the science behind the psychological thinking, to help us to know uh, how the clients thinks. There are plenty of theories in the area of career development field. Theories is theories are still theories. So how do you apply all these theories? That is the crux of it. So the gap is really very much how do you use it. It's, it's really about integrating coaching framework uh, with career development theories and concepts, giving the coaches the understanding of the client's psychic. That is very much of this. And with all this being integrated together, being a professional coach is something that I would say that is something that is very interesting. Allow me to share with you my journey as a career coach. I have been a career coach for more than a decade personally. And well, I've been using the conventional way for the longest time till I was being introduced to Coach Master Academy. Then that's where I learned about the good transformative coaching techniques. So I noticed that when I use this technique, especially for people who are more like an executive level, when you use it, so they they you tend to see a shift in them, and a lot of times it's like it's no longer that linear. They actually have the capability to think for themselves. Once they understand themselves, they are able to move forward, right? So one of the few cases that I have worked with is I remember vividly is about a client who came back from overseas. So she's quite a renowned client in an organization that I used to work for. So what happened is that she has seen quite a number of coaches and she still didn't get her answer. And in fact, she's seen one of the most seasoned career coach in the organization. So when it was rotated to me, so this client came to me, and before the client came to me, my colleague actually warned me and say, "Hey, Winston, this lady, she's very feisty. Be careful. She's known as quite difficult." So when I sat down with when the client came and sat down together with me, so when we have a chat, she wanted to show me her resume. She wanted to show me what exactly she has done. I say, okay, why don't you keep this aside first? Tell me more about yourself and tell me what what would be a meaningful conversation to have, right? So then that's where we know. And by using transformative coaching, she start to realize more about herself and what exactly is she looking for. it, a lot of people will tell her, "Hey, you should do this, you should do that. Why don't you actually do what you used to do? And then why don't you?" But that's not exactly what she wants. All this while, she has been doing it because she has been doing it, and when she did it, she just have the competency in it, and she just keep growing in the organization, and she get promotion. But does it mean that she likes it? Not exactly. Um, that's where she felt a bit empty, and that's why she quit her job in China, whereby I mean with the organization where she was posted to China to come back to Singapore. And if she were to go back to the same job where the conventional way of doing it, then she will not be happy. So end of the day, through transformative coaching, right? I managed to shift her, and she realized more about herself. She realized what she really want to do, and she was happy. And guess what? She never turned up in the career center anymore. right? So this is one story that I would like to share with you. And this is very much of how we can use transformative coaching coupled with integrating with career development theories to help a client to move forward. So let's shift to have a meaningful impact on our client, helping them to uncover their career path, right? Thank you very much. And I will want to hand the time back to Brenny.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the great presentation. So anyone would like to raise any questions for our guest speakers, Ronald and Winston?
I noticed that there was
Yeah.
there's a question request in the chat box. So Winston, what are some some career
Theories.
development theories that you can share with them? Yeah.
Right, sure. Yeah, there is one, the very what we call a evergreen theory that will be Donald Super's theory, right? You can read about Donald Super's theory, the 5 different stages of life, right? Then of course, Donald Super also talk about the life roles in our in different stage of our life. Then you can also look at Mark Savicker's career construction interview, how you actually can do it. And there's of course what we shared earlier about things are no longer that fluid by Cromberts, the late Cromberts, Happenstein theory of learning.
Thank you.
Right.
I saw a hand raised previously by Jayantha. Do you still have that question? If not, we have
No, thank you. It was answered. Thank you.
yes. Okay, thank you, Jayantha. And I see Victoria posted, just curious, what are some of your favorite questions for your clients at this point of time?
They just like what Rona says, most of the time is that I want this. Then end of the day, instead of I want this or I'm jobless, I need to get a job and I want this kind of job. Before you ask, then you just say, okay, tell me more about yourself. You realize that they cannot answer you. That is the very interesting thing. And in fact, if they can answer, if they were to say, okay, I'm doing so and so, then the next question you will ask them, so what is one brand that, what is the brand that you will give yourself? Then they will just, that's a good question. They will tell you, that's a very good question. I never thought about it. Right. So these are very much of it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. Any more questions, anyone?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Amma.
Yeah,
Hi.
in this in this new environment, you know, in terms of career, career jobs have really, as you said earlier, it's no longer based on a career progression where you know more or less what level you want to aspire for within the organization. Now, my question is, under the new normal, some jobs are disappearing, and it may require getting new skills because the job that you're very good at may no longer be around, let's say in the following year. I was just wondering how, you know, what kind of questions or how would you coach someone like that who's at a loss and is anticipating that she could lose her job, despite the fact that she may be very good at what she's doing. The reality is um, changes are happening very fast, and as we've seen, a lot of good positions have been lost. So how
Right.
would you coach somebody like that?
Right. Thank you very much for the question, Emma. So what I hear is that with the technology acceleration, some jobs will be evolved out,
Mm-hmm,
right? So how do you actually coach somebody who have the tendency of being evolved out or they have
mm-hmm,
already been aged out? So one of the few things that uh, I will do, likewise with Ronald, I have seen how he coach. Um, what we will what like to do is to find out very much of their values, their personal values, their interests, and very much of what exactly do they want at the end of the day. right?
Mhm.
So it's once you understand these things, then you will want to ask them very much of how would they want, with this understanding, how would they want to move forward.
Mhm.
Rona, you
May-
want to say something?
Yeah, may I even add on to what Winston said? I think on a higher level thinking as a coach, that would probably come under this reinvention, career reinvention.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really about progress, helping the client to walk through a reinvention. Yeah,
Mhm.
but in order for that to happen, then there's this part where we need to have the competency to help create the liminal space, the space where you allow the client to gain some insights about themselves as where they are at this moment. Yeah, to identify their identities, because the truth of the matter is that they have been working and they have taken on some of the, maybe if they work in a particular organization for a very long, they've more or less taken on that identity for the longest time, and they seem
Right.
stuck in that identity, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So it's very difficult for them to really think about something else, because that's all they know, that's all they think, that's all they are, and that's what they think they are,
Absolutely.
but it's not necessary. So that's why there's a need to have the competency to help them break out of that, or at least step back and look and see beyond that identity, to identify what are the other identities that might be in the shadow of that main identity that they think and that they're holding on to. Right. So that is one of the things that that both me and Winston would usually also try to do. Yeah. But of course, that's only one part of it. Of that, it's just we really do not know how to actually answer that question, because in a coaching conversation, anything goes and everything goes, right?
That's true.
We don't know what's going to happen. But the higher level understanding and thinking behind is really one of the things, is to help our client identify what kind of identities that they have at this moment, to explore that. I hope that answers your question.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is Lakshmikant here. I had a question. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My question was very simple. What's your opinion about Ikigai? You know, I used it on myself. No, never used it for anybody else to identify my passion and pursue my passion, what I really like. So I used Ikigai as a career coaching tool. I used it pretty late in my life, but I used it. So what is your opinion on Ikigai as a career coaching tool?
Rona, can I take this?
Go ahead, please go ahead.
Thank you. So Ikigai basically talks about what are you interested in, and very much of your passion. Then you talk about survivor, right? And who pays you. And very much one more is that what are you good at, right? But there is
Yes.
one missing part over here.
Uh-huh.
What's your value? What is your personal value, right? And there is also other things. If you were to ask me as a career coach, there are also other things that is also missing inside there. As much as it says that that's your that's your interest, that's your skills, who pays you, and who pays you and who will hire you. Then if there is a crash of the values, then the question is, will you still is that your ikigai? That is something that I want to ask whosoever who believe in ikigai, if you think about it. So this is something that I thought about it. Rona, do you have anything to add on?
No, I think you have addressed that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Having said all this, I like to just I think I speak for Winston as well. We're not playing down any other approaches. I think all the approaches have its pros and cons. Okay, definitely. I think what we're looking at is what is the current need of our clients. We're just trying to be more client centric. Yeah. Due to the things that has happened, the shift that has happened, what are the needs of our client as they are thinking about their career? They don't just consider about prestige, power, position. They don't just think about that now. It's a lot more. And with a new generation coming up, it's not just about the work itself, right? It's also about what do they do. It's also about them being aligning to their calling. Yeah. So career coaching is no longer as straightforward as it used to be. Yeah, so now it definitely it requires a lot more competency to actually help to uncover. That's why I like to say that it's all about uncovering career path and not crafting a career path. Right? As you uncover, your career path becomes clearer. Right? And today there's no such thing as, okay, this is my career. This is what I think my career is. And for the rest of my life, this will be my career. No, the truth of the matter is we take on multiple careers, right? In fact, in the later years of our life, there's this thing that we call portfolio career, right? Portfolio career, meaning we actually do many things, a couple of things, and this is our career. We do so many things. We do a couple of things. Why? Because those are things that resonates with us, our passion, and so we do a couple of things as part of our career. Yeah. So that's just my 2 cents worth of thought. But these are my opinion, and I stand to be corrected. Yeah, and these are our thoughts. So we have a couple of hands that's being raised.
Yes.
So Winston, who can we have maybe? Is that Elaine?
Yeah, it's Ellen. Hi, Ronald.
Ellen?
Hi.
Oh, sorry. My
Hi,
apologies.
Alan.
I think Martina raised her hand first, so I'm not sure if
Okay.
you want to. Okay, maybe I'll go first. She's okay for me to go first. Anyways, thank you so much for the session today. It was very, very insightful. I just have a question for you guys in terms of your experience so far. So the pandemic has definitely led to a lot of mental health issues. And it's also a mental health awareness month today. And I'm just wondering, in your experience, if you have seen an increase in clients coming to you with a deeper loss frame, or have you kind of had to turn away any clients because you're seeing that they might not be suitable for coaching?
Rona, you want to give it a go or?
Okay. So for me personally, is it more? I'm not sure, because I'm not sure how many clients I need to meet in order to be able to justify for the numbers and be able to answer that accurately. But definitely we are definitely meeting a lot more people who are looking for career coaching. Okay. But the interesting thing is most of them are wanting to look for a job rather than career coaching. Right. So you're right to say that most of them are in terms of their mental health. I wouldn't say it's a mental health issue, but most of them are in their survival mode. Correct. And because they're in their survival mode, that may jeopardize their job search journey. Correct. Yeah. So I think there's a lot more in terms of, at least for me, I think I have to I meet a lot more of these clients, of which I need to manage this space for them as they are going through their job search. Right. And I do have clients who come to me. I don't really have clients that I need to reject because of mental health issue. Okay. Because mental health issue, and to say that they have mental health issue and to say that they think they have mental health issues is very different. Yeah. So most of them do not really have mental health issue. They are just stressed. They are just, in that survival mode. They are panicky. They are concerned. They are worried. Yeah. So once we are able to hold that space for them to think about their transition, the liminal space, right, which is safe, which is for them to really have that time to really consider it, knowing that they don't need to rush, then things becomes a little bit better. Okay, I'm not sure if I answered your question. So if I didn't, don't worry. Winston is going to answer your question.
Thank you. So Alan, just want to add on to Ronan's point. What I actually see is, yes, indeed, there's a lot of people on survival mode and a lot of people under tremendous stress. One of the things that I see, including my wife, right, she will even reply emails at night, especially when CEOs were to blast out any emails to check in with her, saying, hey, what exactly are you trying to say? In fact, this morning she had a early morning meeting with the CEO. She woke up 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, definitely the mental wellness is something that a lot of them are experiencing right now in this pandemic world. Right. Having said this, the EAC really impede their decision making or even how they discover themselves. So one of the case that I coached probably 3 days ago is that this lady basically says that I want to change a job. Then when you check in with her why, then that end of the day you realize that that is it's not because she cannot manage the job. It's just that she felt that she needs to answer her email and stay on her phone until probably 24/7. The truth of the matter is that she realized that actually my boss don't require me to reply that. So this is something that if through coaching you will help your client to realize, oh, actually it's a problem whereby I I didn't see that. Rather than if you go to the conventional way in the olden days, what I will do is that, oh, you need to change your job. Okay, what are you exploring? So, okay, what have you actually done? What are your skills and so on and so forth? Yes. I hope I answer your question, Helen.
Yes, Winston, thank you so much, Rona and Winston. That was very interesting. Thank you so much for your sharing.
Thank you. And there's a hand raised just now, right?
Yeah.
Martina wanted
Martina.
to ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah, a question and thank you first of all for Vincent and Ronald for this wonderful presentation. And from my practice, what I learn at the moment, that one of a big thing is first of all, of course, getting aware of the identity of your own identity again, but also in this very changing environment and requirements, that people gain confidence again in their own strength. Because what we lose at the moment by this very, very fast changing environment is losing really the confidence in themselves and how they can use their long year experience in something that doesn't exist anymore to move forward and implement in a new world of working. That is a real big challenge I'm figuring at the moment as a career coach as well. So I'm just wondering, do you experience the same, the confidence and the using experience in a new context?
Can I go
Winston,
first?
look like you want to answer that
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yes. Well, in terms of confidence wise, speaking for myself as a coach, well, sometimes I do feel that, hey, what's actually happening as the world progresses? Just when you think just when you think that the vaccine is going to help, and then in Singapore we inoculated quite a number of people, the case actually went up again. So what's happening, right? So it kind of push you off from your plan, right? So that is something that is happening to me, and I know that I feel discomfort because it veer me off the plan. But however, having said this, one thing that I noticed during this pandemic time is that there are more people coming in for coaching, and they are realizing the benefits and the positivity coming out from coaching, especially transformative coaching. That is what I actually noticed. And in fact, I just completed a training early in the morning, training some career coaches. So in fact, they realized that, hey, Winston, they share with me during the class, they say, hey, Winston, I realized that what you share is pretty different from how we learn from other trainers. So that is something that is interesting because I kind of incorporate transformative coaching into some of the things that I share. Like for example, some of the theories. Yes, you can have all the tools here. So how are you going to make use of the tool? How are you going to talk to your client? Yep. I hope I answer your question, Martina. Hi, Rona. You want to share anything?
Ronald and Winston.
Rona, you are on mute.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm just saying that yeah, if Martina, are you happy with that answer? If you're not, you can take it offline with Winston on a one-on-one and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to give some time to our guests as well, because Martina is our one of our faculty, so I think we can take it offline. So can we have and how should I pronounce this name? It's a little bit challenging for me to pronounce this.
Hi, I'm assuming it's my name, Bither.
Bither? All right, cool. Thank you very much,
Sorry, I
Bither.
don't put on my
Yes.
camera. I'm moving up and down. I'm from Kenya. Thank you so much. I'm part
No
of
worries.
cohort 277. So I'm going through the process. So I just wanted to chime in on the question on the mental, if you have somebody with a mental illness. But before I do that, I'm really appreciative of this and seeing how you can actually extend the core framework into a business situation. So I really appreciate that. And I like how you are able to unearth the gap and say, it's not necessarily about the end point, it's how you're experiencing yourself and what's important. So I am a financial coach. So that has been a huge aha moment for me, where I'm not giving people solutions, but I'm helping them internalize what's going on with you and your relationship with money. My contribution to the question on dealing with somebody who has a mental issue or who has something that is above where you're at, I had one of my clients and we were going through financial coaching, but then they were tinkering on being an alcoholic. So I noticed in some of the sessions that literally come in drunk, so you agree on a time and then you're talking and you sort of see this is not going well. So in those instances, I'd actually stop the conversation and say, let's reconvene. But I found what was successful is I didn't dwell on the issue. I dealt on what had actually brought the person. So that element of awareness and determining the focus was so important. And I was also vulnerable enough to say, I'm not the best person to help you with this. I think you should see a therapist or something of the sort. So I've actually learned this is what I can do and focusing. This is the focus for today. This is why we are here. I am not able to resolve all your life issues. So I wanted to just contribute that to that conversation. And thank you so much, Ronald and Winston. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's really, I think that is how, in referring them out, I think that is important. And it's true, how true it is, right? I mean, that the whole transformative approach is something that is very much needed, as we move on into the new world that we are living in, and to be able to be effective in inspiring change for our clients. So thank you very much for sharing. Is there anyone else who have any questions? Oh, I should hand this back to our host. This is a question that the host should be asking, not me. I'm so sorry.
Okay, thank you. If no more questions, I'll move on to announcement. Okay. Right. Okay, so at this point, I'll turn off the recording. Just give me a sec.